and this kind of goes back into like our toxicness of like cheer, is like when all that stuff came out with like doing cook with the and the and all this stuff. Parents, you guys are wild. Your delusion, like need to win, trumps like athletes doing this shit with coaches and making them like have so they can make teams.
I didn't know that. I mean, I've been so far out of it for so long. I didn't know that.
Like there was literally like they were wearing like their sports bras. They were at house and they had a line of coke in the shape on, and they did it. It was
What?
wild.
Welcome to Unshut, a place where if at any point you feel like you need to shut the up, don't. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Oh, there we go.
Yes. How are
Hi.
you?
Good. How are you?
So good to see you.
Good to see you too. It's been so long.
I know. I'm super excited. I'm already recording, so we're like fucking jumping into it.
Sweet. I already have my first layer of brows done. So
Awesome. And before I even like formally introduce you, do you want me to refer to you as Richard or L?
let's do L because we're getting ready in that character. I like respond to everything. Richard, L, he, him, they, she, her, creature.
That's what I do. I'm like, I don't have time to correct people. I'm just gonna listen, call me whatever you want.
Yeah,
Well, welcome L to Unshut Podcast. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
So what are we getting ready for tonight?
So tonight I am hosting a drag race viewing party at the bar. It's called Somewhere. They named it from like somewhere over the rainbow, but then it's been like my favorite advertising because people think I'm being an ass. They're like, where were you at last night? It's like somewhere. They're like, no, but where were you?
That's awesome. Where is it located at?
It's in Boise, Idaho. And then after that gig, I'll run over to my next gig at the Visual Arts Collective. Tonight is called Nautically Obscure. And this is our third weekend doing the show, Friday and Saturday. And it's drag kings, queens, burlesque, and aerial artists in the show as well. They're all water-based.
It's a pretty new show. It's only been going for how long now?
This is the third weekend of the show, and it's closing weekend. Last year they did it as well, and last year's theme was like space. Then I did Xenon, the 21st Century Girl number last year.
Stop. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, girl. I had the little pigtails with the flip, the pink bodysuit with the silver little crop top spaghetti strap, and like a puffy miniskirt over it.
Fucking random. Literally, like, I want to say maybe 2 or so nights ago, I was just watching clips of that singer from, that show or that
Protozoa.
movie. Yes. And I was like, I should see, like, what is he up to these days? And I should invite him on, but I just didn't get to it.
We just watched the movie, a group of us, like 2 weeks ago, actually, because I've been doing these movie nights, and like we pick a theme. So like last one was your favorite movie in high school, and then everyone gets assigned a number, and then I have like a random number generator, and whoever's number gets picked is whose movie we watched. And so Hunter got picked, and it was Xenon. It's still so good.
Yes, it's like iconic. I love it so much. It used to be one of my favorites too.
The Zoom 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 song is everything.
I mean, the fact that I was jamming out to that, I feel like the way my family did not know that I was a homosexual.
I'm like, Mom, my favorite movie was Princess Diaries. Okay, how did you not know? I had every line memorized. It was banned from the house for a while.
No way. That's how much you watched it?
Yeah, on repeat every day.
Funny, I was actually just thinking about this not too long ago. One of my most vivid memories from when I was younger, when I started to be really sneaky about being gay, I would
Yeah.
literally like put a chair in my room to lock the door and hold it closed so I could watch Queer as Folk. Do you remember that show?
I secretly had that delivered from Netflix to my house, and I would only watch it when people weren't in the house. And I had it delivered to my friend's house, so it wouldn't even come to me.
That's amazing. It was like watching love and porn all at the same time. I was like
A
obsessed with
hundred
that.
percent. I was nip tuck for me as well.
I never
Like,
got into that.
oh, I was like, this is basically porn and plastic surgery. I love it.
How do you pick your makeup looks for the night? Like, do you go based off of makeup first and then the outfit, or does the outfit pretty much choose the makeup look?
Outfit dictates makeup look. First outfit, we're doing pleather is the theme. So I always try to match my co-host. So I have a different co-host every week. The last 2 years, I had a friend host with me consistently, but then we had a pretty big falling out. So this season, I've had a different guest every week, which is actually kind of fun because it pulls from every group. So then I get more like a different audience every week, which has been nice. Our town has a lot of different, I mean, I'm sure this is every queer town, but like cliques of queens and kings and things. So I made sure I pulled from every single group that we have in town. Because we have like the Gentertainers, which is a non-binary group. They do a monthly show, and then we have the Lesbi Kings, and that's just all drag kings. It is like two families in this, like drag families. There's like the House of Thunder Pussy and the House of Delish. So, which one of my really good friends, I lived with her for like 3 years. Actually, she's the mother of the House of Thunder Pussy, Serafina Thunder Pussy.
Serafina Thunder Pussy. That's the name of your friend?
Yeah, that's the name of my friend. Yeah, I call her Puss Puss, but I love Serafina. She's the best.
Is the drag scene pretty big in Boise?
The last count, because my friend Serafina, I love her. She is a like spreadsheet Excel girl. So she has like every performer, how many Instagram followers they have, like all this stuff. And I think the last count was like 130, like about 70 of them being active and regular. So we've got a pretty good scene. And then our shows are always like, we're really inclusive with our show. So we always have burlesque in everything we do as well as the kings and the queens. The show I'm producing in February, my kings dropped out and I don't have any burlesque. An old school drag queen gay show. So like my tip kittens that walk around to collect money, they're all men in harnesses. Oh, I do have a king actually. He's going to be one of my tip kittens because Jax is super hot. He like gives you the twink fantasy. It's so hot.
And what did you say you called them? Tip what?
Tip kittens.
Tip kittens. I love it.
It started from like the burlesque world. They're called the kittens that like clean up all the clothes and stuff. And if you have any questions with what I'm doing with my makeup while I'm doing it, like you can ask. But
yes, because I was just wondering, why are you licking that? What?
Because I'm just living my kindergarten fantasy and I love eating glue.
Oh, it's glue.
It's fully the purple Elmer's glue stick. Whenever you take your makeup off in that first wipe, like it almost like seals down the glue more. And then I saw Trixie Mattel like lick it. So I only do it for my final layer, but it seals my eyebrows down really well. So then they don't pop up.
How long have you been in drag altogether?
She just turned 9. Yeah, so 9 years in October. I was a Halloween queen.
What does that mean?
So there's 2 times a year that a lot of people birth themselves, and it's usually Pride and Halloween because it's like the safest time in the sense like everyone else is dressed up too. So you're not just like walking into a bar by yourself, like and being the only drag queen or like only having other drag queens judging you. When you first start going out, it is one of the most intimidating things in the whole world.
Do you
I used to give myself
yours?
Oh yeah. Do you remember when Roxy Andrew was on Drag Race and they had to make a dress and it was that black dress with the huge cutouts on the side?
Yeah.
So my aunt is a seamstress and I had her make that dress in white and gold. And it was Trixie Mattel's show at the VAC where I'm performing tonight. That's kind of ironic. But and I went out with a group of friends and everyone thought I was like this out of town queen because I look back now and I think I looked busted, but it was very polished for the time, I guess. And everyone's like, who are you? Who are you? And that's when I had my first drag name, which was so bad.
What was it?
I love punny drag names. It was Crystal Balls with like a K and a Z. I went out one night with that and I was like, nope, this is white trash. Like, I cannot, this is horrible. And then I was nameless for a month and I kept going out in drag. People were calling me Richard. Or I went by RJ at that time. And then I knew I wanted a single syllable name because of advertising purposes. Because the girls with long names, man, it is such a pain in the ass. So then I was listening to Legally Blonde, the musical. And I went to the Court Christmas show, which Court is like a nonprofit organization that raises money for like local charities through drag. And they're like, what's your name? And I said, Elle. And it just like felt right. It was the moment. So that was 9 years ago.
Elle is so fitting, which is so funny because like every time I look you up on Instagram, I don't even look up Richard. I literally just type in ELLE because it's so short, it's catchy, and I remember it that way, you know?
And then like started a drag family, and that's where Nouveau came from because we were all like very different for the time because our town used to be very pageant based. So like I was a bearded queen, I had a plus size girl, I had a cis woman, I had a punk rock girl. So Nouveau is new in French. And then I didn't realize that Elle was girl in French. So I'm like, new girl.
That's cool.
I thought that was really fun.
I feel like that's always the best when it takes an organic birth that way. Like when it's so non-intentional, that's the fun.
Yeah. They just work it out so well. Because I don't like families. I think families were created for people who were abandoned by their parents. I have a good relationship with my parents, and most people in this town have a good relationship with their parents. And so I don't like this family thing because it always ends up drama. But these 3 kids are just calling me mom the whole over. And I was like, okay, if we're going to do this, like my full cheer brain came out. I was like, we need a name, we need a brand, we need a logo. Like, let's get this together. And so then that's how that happened. And then actually the irony is I don't like 2 of them are blocked now. And then I kind of still talk to one of them.
Why are they blocked?
So the one girl, her name's antidepressant. I don't care. She's blocked. Super rich, trust fund baby, so entitled, never been told no her entire life. So like anytime I would critique her, it was like full blown meltdown. Like she did our Pride main stage mix and I chose This Is Me. And this was in 2019. And she gave me the worst cut on purpose. So I was like, can you fix this? And then we went to DragCon together and she didn't talk to me the whole time. Like, and then like I commented on her crunchy oatmeal eyebrows. And then she just talked shit behind my back. And then Hazel's her best friend. They've been best friends since like 6th grade. So I just found out they were just dogging me behind. And I helped like talk to them about it and they still did it. And I was like, I don't care. I don't need you in my life.
I mean, I don't know who they are, so fuck them.
Yeah. They moved to Seattle and they don't even perform anymore. So
losers.
I know. But it was kind of and that was like too, like right around the time when I got fired from my and so like I was really just like cutting all the toxic people out of my life. I'm like, don't need you, bye. It just was the timing was perfect for them to go away as well.
So are you open to talking about that?
I'm fine. Yeah.
So what happened?
So we had just won Summit, my senior 2 team had, and I was feeling great. I had no idea this was coming. So then we had our banquet. Apparently I found out this was like 6 months ago. Everyone at the banquet, parents, all the other staff knew I was getting fired the next day. And I had no idea. So then we had like a meeting to pick our competition schedule. And I walk in, I had like a cheeseburger, like not thinking about anything. And like, I can't hire you next year. No one in this gym respects you. And I was like, what? These were her 3 reasons. I was too intense. I was addicted to weed and I needed to seek therapy. My drag should have stayed private and kids should never know about drag. Those were her 3 reasons why she fired me. I had when we merged with her was manipulating behind the scenes. I would smoke weed like at the end of the night at competitions. Like I would sneak outside, like do a couple puffs and then go to bed. And then parents were like, oh, do you want us? Because they knew I smoked like regularly. They would like invite me to smoke or whatever. And then those parents turned around and then went and like got and told. So like hindsight, but I'm like literally drink a half a bottle of Jack every single night. Like what I do is not any worse than what you do, sis.
Well, and since when does it like matter what you do on your personal time?
Exactly. That's like the same thing when people get mad at teachers for like partying on the weekend. I'm like, they're off the clock. It was rough. Like I was extremely suicidal that night. I made it through the night, but I woke up that morning, like called my dad and I was like, I don't understand insurance. I don't know how this works, but I need therapy. I need medication. Like last night, I called my dark night, like was not a good night. And so then I started doing therapy. That was a godsend because I learned that like our culture really makes your job as your first identifier as a human being. And that's your importance. When I'm like, it's a way to have fun with your friends and your family. That's all your job should be. Like, I don't even bring up that I'm a hairdresser. That is like number 7 or 8 on my identifier list. Where I'm like, I'm Elle and I do drag and I love to throw parties and I love to do makeup and I like to do hot yoga and play darts. And like, there's just a whole other list before I even bring up a job. There was a lot of blessings because I don't know, I stepping back, like the cheer environment, like the whole industry is so aggressively toxic.
And it's
like,
such a money scheme too. Like, let's take for example, you're paying all this money to go compete at an event where we already know who's going to be the top 5 in every fucking category, and yet everyone still gives them their money. For years, I started to realize like, man, like I am surrounded by people who don't see that all they're doing is making someone rich who doesn't really give a fuck about them. And I cannot be a part of that.
They don't get it. Like, it blows my mind.
And for the people that are going to listen to this and throw a fucking fit, show me how you've improved your fucking life by giving them all your fucking money and then come and have a conversation with me. Because the fact that the people that are going to get pressed about what we're saying are going to be the same people that have been doing the same shit year after year. They don't change anything about their life. They don't challenge themselves. And yet they wonder why they live a very comfortable life. It's not for me.
The reason I got fired like a second time from because this number I'm doing for this weekend, I do it to Gimme 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 from A-Teens, the Man of Midnight. And he comes on, like, he's dressed in all black, pushes me into a pool, feeds me poppers, and then pulls out this like 10-inch dildo. It's huge. And then we attach like a water bottle to it and then pisses on me. It's gold. It is, well, that, I can't believe I just said it's gold when I'm getting a golden shower. You'll have an accidental pun.
Like, what I don't understand is like, who has the fucking time to take this shit to someone and be like, hey, this is what they're doing. This is what the show is about. Can you guys do something about it? Who has that fucking time?
Bitch that has nothing else to do but try and continue to ruin my life years after being out of their gym. I posted like a clip of it on my story. I don't even touch the penis. They sent it into you anonymously, saying that I performed oral sex on stage and posted it on social media for children to see. The irony was it was a kink fetish show and I was raising money for the high school diversity prom. I raised $4,000 that night for the prom. So then like called me. So she goes, I can tell you, this is happening. Once I explained to her, she's like, oh my God, these people are just trying to be vindictive and go after you. And I'm like, I know exactly who it is. So it had to go through a review board. Then it went to a law firm. And then they said, okay, you're good to work. And I was like, sweet. When the official like complaint lady called me to talk to me about it, she's like, hey, I want to let you know in the email it said, it was anonymous, but they said they let their gym owner know, just FYI, I would do a post on your page saying like, hey, my stuff's not always kids appropriate. So I do this whole thing like, FYI, like I do family friendly stuff, but not all my stuff is family friendly. So if you don't want your child to follow me, like get off your social media. But then I went and I started attacking by name. I said, you two need to leave me alone. I've been out of your gym for 4 years at this point. Or no, it was 3 years. For 3 years, I'm not ever going back to the industry. You guys need to seek therapy because the fact that you are still trying to ruin my life years after being out of your gym, drop it. I get a phone call the next day. I was the most supportive, amazing person through this whole experience. Like I will not, like I love and I love. They are the two best people in that in the industry.
Shout out to I still have her color changing cup from that 1 year. I
Do you
love
really?
her. I am listen, like I will always have a boner for I love her too.
She is the coolest, most down-to-earth person I've ever met in my life. I lost all respect of after this whole event because I tried to call and talk to her, ignored me. Like we had a meeting set up, didn't show up to it. Like was like sending me shoes. We were texting, we were friends. And then this happened and she dropped me like a fly. And I was like, I have no respect for you. So they said like I broke confidentiality. Then complained again, saying that they like broke confidentiality. So I wasn't allowed to work anymore. And I was like, I only said what was told to me by because I was not stupid at the time. I'm like, I know this game, I have to play with you people. So I was like, I only stated what was told to me was that the gym owner was notified. So then that's when I was like, duh, I know who it is. And even the lady, she goes, well, after she got done with the official conversation, she was like, just an FYI, congratulations on raising that much money for kids. That's so cool. Keep doing what you're doing.
I keep going back to this thought of like people at the end of the day, it is just fucking cheerleading. To everyone listening, it is just fucking cheerleading. And I know it sounds bad. I am thankful for the industry and what it did for me and how I played my cards, but I'm so sick and tired of this industry that is just money sucking and people allow it. They allow it. They give it the power and yet they turn around and they treat people like shit. Do the program because you want to do good and quit coming after people for what they do on their personal life. Clearly having a gym has not done anything for you and it's clearly not your passion since your passion is going after people and not minding your fucking business.
Exactly. Yep. And like, it's not that big of a deal.
No, and some of the most wonderful people I met totally came from that industry. So it's definitely not to shit on the entire industry. It's just truly the people that are so fucking bored with their lives. They go out of their way to make other people miserable. Those are the people that I'm like, go find your real passion, please. Please go find. There are so many good people that really do thrive in this industry that I've made really good connections with that to this day I'm grateful I met them and they know who they are. But for the ones that are like taking their time to, again, fucking run and tattletale on someone who's not even a part of the industry anymore, like it's fucking ridiculous.
Funny with like all this like stuff too, like when people take things so seriously, and I like learned not to, and like with the cheer industry is it falls over into drag all the time. I will admit I do have the privilege of getting every single gig that I want to get. I did put my time in, but like at the end of the day, like I'm like, we're dudes in wigs playing dress up and none of you guys are even doing charity shows, so it's not like you're actually even helping the community. They try to pull me into drama and I just laugh at them. I'm like, bro, I don't care.
You're like, I survived the fucking cheerleading industry, this is nothing.
Yeah. I'm like, your catty ass is nothing. You deal with psycho parents and psycho coaches for 15 years and then we'll have a conversation about you trying to come after me.
Legit, it's like you try dealing with little fucking Sally Walker whose mom thinks she's the shit and actually sucks at life, then come after me.
Yeah. Hey, you play Little Sally Walker for hours in the warm up rooms, and then you come and talk to me because that game is hell. I hated that one. Oh, now that's gonna be stuck in my head all night. I hate you right now.
I was just thinking the same thing. I'm like, fuck, little Sally Walker is going to be stuck in my head all fucking night.
All night. Like, there's so many people that like I like still like follow and talk to on a regular basis. Then there's a lot of good things. I do think like, it teaches you how to show up when you don't want to, when you've made a commitment, pushing through your pain, learning like what real pain is versus like I'm just tired.
Yes,
So
you're absolutely right. There's so much good that also came from it.
yeah, well, there's the brush. God, the game of makeup. I wonder if I can flip my phone. Let me see. I am turned into like this boomer that cannot do anything technology. But like I play this game of find my brush in this nonsense all the time. This is the setup. It's a mess. And I moved it
Damn.
downstairs. My drag room is upstairs and it's a disaster. And I did not have time to clean today. So I was like, we're gonna go to the kitchen because the background is cleaner. Oh, I'm not going to the after party. Oh shit.
Very good.
Did it come back? Okay.
Yeah.
I hate group chats, like show chats. They drive me crazy.
It's
I
always
just don't
going.
like. Yep, and it's shown, and it's closing weekend, so everyone's getting emotional. But I don't. It's not common for drag queens to do like the same show 3 weekends in a row. Where I've done theater in my life and like lots of things where you do the same performance over and over again, and you get that really close bond with the cast. But then like the show ends and then it's gone. Like, and it's just funny to kind of watch these people who like have never had that relationship like in a cast before, like go through it, which is it's cute because it's just new for them and fresh and stuff. But I'm like, guys, it's not the end of the world when the show's over. Okay, I don't need like emotional sloppiness.
You're like, it's going to come back eventually.
Like we're gonna do it again next year. So I'm like, it's happening again next year, guys. And most of you, I'm sure, will be booked again. So breathe. It's
That's
not the end of the
awesome.
world.
What is your take on RuPaul's Drag Race? Like, have you ever auditioned or signed up, or do you have any interest in that?
None, zero. I love RuPaul because I really like that it has made drag mainstream, which is why like I think we have so much controversy and they want to get rid of us. I love it because it's exposure and like it's gay football. I love these viewing parties because I understand why people go to sports bars because the energy in that room while we're all watching, it's so fun. And it's even the people who know like go and do like the research and find the spoilers and stuff, they're still like pumped and excited about it. I know people are like, well, he's a fracker and he's this and he's that. And I'm like, yeah, but like overall, what he's done for the queer community is 1,000 times more important than his like fracking over here in Colorado. And it's his husband. Like, I don't want to audition because, like, girl, I cannot sing. I'm pretty. Like, I'm pretty. There we go. Like, the longer I've done drag, the more I've turned into that pointer queen with a little, like, I'll do a little 5, 6, 7, 8. You may get 1 8 count out of me. Like, I don't need to do that anymore. So, like, to go on that type of show, like, that's just not my thing anymore. Plus, like, you know this, like, we traveled so much for cheer. I don't want to be away from my people anymore. Like, it's too much. Like, I want to be around my friends. Like, if my best friend could be my assistant and follow me, then yeah, I would probably. But like, it's just like I enjoy my life now, and I don't want to go back to like not enjoying it. And then I actually got on TikTok. Well, they didn't. No one argued back with me. I was kind of annoyed. But this girl like posted like the last Untucked episode. They cheers to like not being a local girl anymore, and they're like, that's just really offensive to like local queens and da 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 da. And I was like, girl, I said, you're overlooking into this. Like it's like getting a job promotion. Like they're just excited that they got the next level up from a local girl. They're not dissing local girls in here. They've worked hard to get where they're at. And yes, are some people like shitty, but yeah, but that's every industry, no matter what you have like rough people that are not nice to local girls when they come and visit. Like Bob the drag queen, not nice.
Really?
People still talk about when she came to town and how mean she was to everyone. Like she could not be bothered. She could care less about anyone. It was very interesting. Bianca Del Rio, one of the nicest human beings in the whole world.
I love
Every
her.
time she's been here in town, she comes to the bar afterwards and talks to people, like comes as a boy, hangs out, like super cool. Mayhem Miller is really nice. Chi Chi Devane, like rest in peace. Like she was so cool. Vanessa Van Mateo, cannot stand. Her and Silky showed up an hour late to the gig. The show was supposed to start at 8. They didn't show up until 9. And we saw them on their stories. They were riding around downtown Boise in scooters. Like it was like, and they're so rude, so unprofessional. I went to that one and I was in drag, but like I wasn't performing. And I don't really drink a ton before I perform. but I was hammered because I wasn't supposed to perform. And then someone, like the producer was like, we're trying to kill time. Can you do a number? And I looked at them and I said, yeah, but I don't want to hear shit because I'm wasted right now. I had no intentions of performing. That was a wild night. Because I like used to like have this ritual. Like I would do 2 Red Bull vodkas at home. Then I'd go to the bar and I'd have like 2 or 3 more Red Bull vodkas and a shot of tequila 15 minutes before. But then I did a show for a sober conference. It's called WikiPod, and so it's a sober community of like from like 21 to 30. And I was like, I can't drink. Like that's disrespectful. So I performed sober, and it was kind of awkward because the MC, they're like, "Why are you so nervous?" I was like, "This is my first time performing sober." The MC took it as I was actually sober, even though the day before we had met, and I told her I was a normie. I didn't know that, but like drinkers are called normies in AA. So she announced to the whole audience that I was sober. So then I get done performing, and I did an emotional ballad, so super deep, super emotional. Everyone starts coming out to me like, congratulations on your sobriety. We're so happy for you. And in my head, I'm like, it's ending in 5 minutes. As soon as I walk out the store, but I'm not. So I just said, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I was like, oh, this is so uncomfortable because I just didn't drink today. After that, though, I learned that I don't need to like be drunk to get on stage anymore. And so like you have to, like I always have a cocktail in my hand because if you don't, someone's going to put a cocktail in your hand. So like I want to control the situation. And people think I drink a ton before, but I get like a single in a tall with soda water. And then oftentimes I go and fill it up with just soda water again. It's kind of funny.
I love that. I actually have a story to bring up. I'm going to give you my favorite Elle quote, and I want to see if you remember it.
Shit.
The quote goes,
oh, my mouth is wild.
I wasn't sure if I had just been hate crimed or if I liked it. Do you remember what story that came from?
Girl. Yeah, because that was in the alleyway behind when it was Fatty's, and I got the most amazing blowjob. He ripped my dress, then slapped me across the face and called me like a and then I was like, and I was like, I think I just got raped. I don't know if I got hate crimes, but I really liked it. Cannot believe you remember that.
Elle, when I tell you, I talk about that story at least once a week.
Shut up.
Ever since you told me that story to this day, it's become my personality. Like to this day, I quote that. I'm like, I don't know if I got hate crimed or if I liked it. It's my favorite story of all time. And this whole time, keep in mind, before I launched the podcast, I have had the idea of having you on since the early talks of the podcast. Like I would tell my partner all the time, I have to bring it up. I'm going to bring up that quote. I cannot not bring up that quote.
That is gold. That's your Roman Empire, huh?
It is 100%.
Now I'm going to tell that story tonight on the microphone. Completely forgot about that. I'm so excited to my host tonight. We are like so mean to each other. It's so fun. We are so good at reading each other. We started a group chat with this other queen yesterday. We literally named it Virgo Bully Chat because we just keep like bullying Virgo, and it's so funny. I love it. I love a queen that can take a read and dish it back too.
Hell yeah.
I love a lot of things about Gen Z, but Gen Z drag queens cannot take reads. They take them way too personal. And I'm like, we're roasting each other because we're going to get worse stuff said to us on the street. So if I say mean stuff to you, we're building up your thick skin here, sis. My tagline downtown, because after I got canceled in 2020, and then this queen like saying like, oh, she always says she's so nice. So now I like introduce myself on stage, like every MC, Boise's nicest drag queen, because I'm like, I'm the meanest one in town. It's so funny. But everyone thinks I'm super mean, but I'm like, I'm not. I don't sit at home thinking about how to like destroy. Like, no, this shit just comes off the top of my head. I see it, I say it. It's funny. I don't care enough about you to try and hurt your feelings.
And that's the thing about this like cancel culture too. It's like if we really wanted to cancel people, we would just never talk about them again. That is true cancel culture. But guess what? People love talking about people. The idea that you can cancel someone because of what they do, what they say, is just giving them more attention. So there's no such thing as cancel culture. You really want to cancel someone, don't talk about them, don't post about it, don't brag about them, don't vent about them, don't think about them. That's true cancel culture.
It's wild to me. Because like, well, I got canceled for like 10% of it was racism that I did not understand that I was doing, like microaggressions. But when George Floyd Hope happened, and then I started reading my like anti-racism books and stuff like that, I wasn't like, guess what I read today on my Instagram story? Like, I'm not going to do that because to me that came across as like performative, like a performative allyship, right? So then like I learned, like I was like, oh my God, the microaggressions I was saying is like in our state, like on your license plate, your county is put on your thing. So like Boise is 1A, and then Canyon County is 2C. Like Canyon County is like where most of like brown folks and like Latin people live, and it's we've always called it the ghetto, which now I like learn like ghetto is like so derogatory. I would say, do you know where liars go? And people are like, hell. I go, no, they go to 2C, like shit like that.
That's actually kind of funny though.
When they went after me, because like this like Latin queen, you piggybacked onto like the George Floyd to gain power delusion. I was at prime power right before COVID happened. Like I was the queen in town. Me and Denim, like you could not, we were untouchable. Everyone followed us. Like everyone did everything we said, right? It was a 57-minute video done about how awful of a human being I am on her Instagram live. And I watched all of it. So I had a 57-minute video, a 17-minute video, and a 10-minute video done about me by 3 different people. And I listened to it all because like, if you want to learn, you have to hear what these people are saying, right? 10% of it was racism. The other 90%, you just don't like me. That's it. And you're trying to like clap all these things, but I'm like, no, I will own up to my 10% and say, yes, I was racist and I messed up and I apologize for that. The rest of it, you can go fuck yourself. You just don't like me. And you're trying to use this to can't get the power. And she did. She had the power for a while. I didn't go to the balcony for a year.
Wow.
And I performed for 2 years there every weekend. And I didn't go for a full year. It was that bad. And so she won for a while. And now guess what? She's not even on the scene and no one likes her because her true colors finally came out and people realized what she was doing.
It's so stupid. I've never understood the concept behind cancel culture and like, I'm going to cancel Moses, so I'm going to go and make an hour video dedicated to them on how I'm going to cancel them. When last time I checked, everyone fucking bounces back. Look at James Charles, like everyone bounces back. Look at Kathy fucking Griffin. Like you cancel them for a while and guess what? They always come back. Does it suck? Does it obviously, take away opportunity, some limelight? Of course. But if the pattern has taught us anything is that everyone eventually comes into their senses and they're like, oh, maybe Elle didn't really mean it in that sense. I think Elle is good to go.
These were people that I considered my friends. And I'm like, you didn't come and talk to me personally. You just went straight to social media to do so. Like, okay, that's wild to me. Like, because if I was this upset with you, I would have a conversation in private. You didn't even give me an opportunity. It was wild. And this kind of goes back into like our toxicness of like cheer. Is like when all that stuff came out with like doing cook with the and the and all this stuff. And then their gym grew and then like got better. I'm like, parents, you guys are wild. Your delusion, like need to win, trumps like athletes doing this shit with coaches and making them like have so they can make teams. And there was like receipts for it. And then they still like, they weren't even like phased.
I didn't know that. I mean, I've been so far out of it for so long. I didn't know that.
This was 2 years ago. It was all over Twitter, man. I could not get enough of it. Like, I love gossip. My friends, have you seen the new Little Mermaid movie?
Yes.
Okay, you know Scuttle's new song and about how she's the gossip, the blower, like all that stuff. Yeah. My friends literally call me Scuttle now. I know everything. I don't spread it unless it's important to, but like I love knowing everything. So when this shit was happening, I was sitting there on Twitter like, "Boo, yeah, give me more, give me more." Like there was literally like they were wearing like their sports bras. They were at house and they had a line of Coke in the shape and they did it. It was wild. Yeah. Me with a pretend dildo at an adult venue with no athletes around. I was the devil.
Because money talks, baby. Money talks. And yet these small gyms, they all feed into it. They want to have a big bark and then they don't realize they're fucking no one. Those people are still running it. Like it could really come out any day. The best cheer gym in the world was fucking all this. And guess what? They'll still be competing at next year. Winning, taking all your fucking money. It's just the way it goes. And here's the thing. If the governing bodies would actually do something about it, I would feel hopeful. But I feel like if they actually showed that they cared about true competition and that it did not matter that because they were one of your biggest clients, they're allowed to get away with all this shit, then I'd feel differently about it. But the fact that these gyms get away with everything, but Richard can't get pissed on from a water bottle for a show that's acting. It's stupid.
There is an athlete on a team that has an OnlyFans. He's on like an open team, and he has an OnlyFans. I'm like, why isn't he getting in trouble?
Right. Oh,
I mean, it's a great OnlyFans. I don't want to take him down, but
that's so crazy. But since we're on the topic of OnlyFans, have you ever been asked to top someone in drag?
No, I'm actually a side. I'm not a top or a bottom.
I just learned what
Uh,
that term was like literally a couple months ago.
oh, really?
Yeah, I had no idea. Even though the term's been around, I did my research on it. There's a doctor who had been talking about that position for a really long time. But tell everyone what a side is for the viewers that are going to be like, well, we know what a top is, we know what a bottom is. What is a
What
side?
the fuck is a side? So a side is someone who doesn't do anal. They are oral, touching, kissing, no actual penetrating or penetration of the anal cavity. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 28, like anal virginity, which was funny because I lost it to my first drag mom. I fucked a judge at, or I got fucked by a judge at he was from Ireland. And then I topped someone once and I was like, I just don't like this. Like, this is nothing for me. The prep, the pain. So then when I learned about side, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. This literally sums up what I do.
Do you
So
feel like that opens up more of the dating scene because you're able to be with people that really identify as tops and bottoms, or is it still not a
So
thing?
that's an interesting topic because dating a drag queen, it's so hard because like people put us on this pedestal. So we're like celebrities locally, right? I'm aware of the delusion that I'm famous at 2 bars. My like grinder, it's a blank profile because if I put my picture up, no one will talk to me. Because like Scruff has a picture and Bumble has a picture. Like nothing happens from that. And then when they find out it's me, like so oftentimes I stop talking because like men have such deep-seated internal homophobia that they don't realize. And even if it's like the most flamboyant human being in the whole world, because I used to be this way, like I would like not even like look at a man if they were wearing makeup, even though I wore makeup every single day as a boy. So that like clicks with a lot of people. They just like, oh, I love you as a drag queen, but like I can't handle your femininity. I don't like that you wear makeup, or I don't like this. And so like it's just really hard to like date as a drag queen or hook up. Like if hooking up in drag is, it's mostly like you watch them, they're chasers. You can see exactly who they are at the bar. They are very straight looking. They are standing by themselves and they're only looking at drag queens because they want to live their transsexual fantasy because they think we're trans, even though like there are trans queens, but like majority of us in this town are not trans queens. So like you can just see them. And like, you know, there's nights where I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm in the mood. I want to go get hate crimed in an alleyway. So like, let's go. But because most of my hookups are like, I use Double List. Have you heard of that?
No, what's that?
And when Craigslist Personal got shut down, then Double List opened up. So it's just like Craigslist Personals. I hook up with married men on that. But when I'm like in a mood, like I can literally have like 5 guys show up in 2 days. It's so easy on that Double List. And then I have like one regular guy, but he never hooks up with, like it's always in the morning before he goes to work. Guys have asked me, I'm like, I'm not getting in drag to hook up with you. Like if I am already in drag, yes. But if you want to hook up with me drag, then you're going to have to pay money. My booking fee is $200. Okay. People will get dressed and then take their makeup off an hour later. I'm like, why? Why did you do that? Because I'm fast. I can paint very fast. Like I've been trying to like slow myself down, but like normal face is like 45 minutes to an hour. My record, I got ready out the door in 27 minutes.
Ooh.
One time, because my old roommate, Serafina Thunderpussy, we were talking about earlier, she takes like 4 hours to get ready. And so there's one night I was working on a wig and I finished it. And then she walked out the door and I was like, I'm going to be a shithead. And I ran upstairs, got in drag and got to her show before it started. And she had left the house. She was like, you were working on a wig. And I was like, I know, I just wanted to be an asshole to you and show you that I'm fast.
That's funny. Would you say that that is one of the biggest misconceptions about being a drag queen is that people associate drag with trans?
At the beginning, it was bad. A lot of people, like my parents, a lot of my straight friends, like assumed I wanted to be a woman, especially because that's when I was like shaving my face. God, I love this glitter. It's the kimchi one. It's like a paste. I'm obsessed with it with my highlighter now. They thought I was like, I'm a dude. I just, after I lived in Canada and cheered on a team, I was like, I need to be on stage again. I love this. So drag was the way I did it. But there is a huge misconception with straight folks, especially that like, they just assume that we want to be a woman full time. And I'm like, no, I wear a beard for God's sake. Cause like I'm a bearded drag queen. Like people trying to chase me now in drag has gone down dramatically because I do wear a beard and I'm hairy everywhere else. The only like hair I don't like showing in drag is my back hair. So I always get that waxed, but like armpit check. Oh, I will shave my armpits if I'm in a formal gown and my armpits are showing. I don't know what, that's one of my like weird things. Like I don't like the way that looks together, but Yeah, that was really weird at the beginning when everyone thought I was wanting to be a woman. I was like, no, but it's common because there are a lot of trans women too that like it's a safe way of getting into women's clothing for the first time, and then they realize that they're trans. You know what I mean?
There's already so much backlash you're going to get because of the community, right? I mean,
Right.
it's already bad enough to be fucking gay, but it's another thing to want to be in women's clothing and then do makeup and then the hair. It's just the backlash is serious, right? So I've always wondered, like, if that is one of the biggest misconceptions that someone in drag gets, is that everyone just assumes that you want to change your gender, you identify as a woman. So yeah.
I just laugh at that. I'm like, nope, I'm straight up a dude. Because everyone makes fun, like not fun of me, but they're like, you are like the most wild person ever. Like you will be in full high horror drag, and then you are in two dart leagues, and you play with nothing but straight men. But it goes back to when I'm in therapy, and like I didn't want like cheer was like my full identity. So when I like deconstructed that, I was like, I can't have something be my full identity because there are so many entertainers. This is it. Like that's all they do is just drag. They're just this person, and I'm like, you guys are. There's so much more behind you. Like you're still that person when the mask comes off, guys. Like it's just the mask you're putting on. Develop it. Go out and do something. Like be around other people, and it helps you check your ego because these people don't leave. They only go to these two bars where they're like praised and doubted on and they're gods, but then you walk into a straight bar and no one has a flippin' clue who you are. And so I think people like need to like have that check. Which lashes do I want to wear? These ones. The big lashes.
Nice. And I do like that glitter on the sides. That looks so good.
Thank you. That's why I love like doing a lot of different things too. Because I was like ADHD brain. I can't just do the same thing over and over and over again. I would die. That's why I do hair. It's a different client every 2 hours.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point too. It's people going back to something you had said about some of the inappropriate jokes that you have said or whatever. I get it. Yes, it's a learning curve for everyone. I say ignorant shit all the time, but I'm not the only one. We're all guilty of it, right? But I feel like also being able to understand like those comments, like that joke that you said, like that was fucking funny to me. I don't take offense to that. And it's like, you're also, again, it's part of the character, right? You transform yourself into Elle to also be this outspoken, not filtered person. And that also is a very empowered thing to be able to do in your personal life. But sometimes that's what it takes to unlock it. And so the fact that people read into shit too much is so annoying.
It's so annoying too. And like these people are just all around queer people all the time. So like when they're canceling each other in our town, I'm like, bro, I just had to explain the difference between like all lives matter and Black lives matter. And you're attacking me for like this deep, like level 17 racism. And like same thing with the drag and trans thing. Like I'm explaining that to straight people still at 9 years later of doing drag. Like in our community, like in the gay community, I'm like, you guys are attacking other gay people for like level 18 homophobia, racism, when we have like majority of society is still on level 1. Like they're just trying to like that there's a difference between like the T and the L, like in the letters. Like, okay, breathe.
You're like, I'm in drag. I'm not chopping my dick off.
Yeah. Did I have this client? I hate doing her hair. She's so Republican, but I refuse to like fire her because I don't want to give her that M of like, oh, that angry liberal just got blah, blah, blah. But she looked at me once and she was like, well, they're chopping off their dicks at 7 years old. And I said, whoa, what? Oh, and then one time I was cutting around her ear and she was like, looked at me dead in the eye through the mirror and goes, don't you just think Disney's making everyone gay now? And I was like, don't cut her ear off. Do not cut her ear right now. I'm like, girl, you are wild that you think this is actually happening in society.
And I think sometimes people don't even realize that the questions they ask you are so insulting on their own. It's like, I don't speak for every fucking gay person, and I also don't speak for every brown person. Like the way that people just ask you questions, assuming that you're passionate about the topic because of who you are, it's just ignorant on its own. Those lashes look good.
Thank you. God, lashes really just changed the look. And now we're snatched. Still need to do rhinestones. But are we okay on time?
Yeah, we're good.
I left glue upstairs. I'll be right back.
So the glue you used for the rhinestones is not the same glue you were licking earlier?
No. I actually used like 3 different glues. So I used glue stick for the eyebrows. I used Ben Nye glitter glue for the glitter on the lid. And then I use weave bond for eyelashes, black weave bond for eyelashes, and then the white for the rhinestones because it's sweat proof.
And where are you adding the rhinestones to?
I'm going to do one right here, here, and here.
Do you ever look at your past makeup looks and go, what the fuck did I do back then?
Girl, I went to my 10-year reunion in drag.
Love it.
High school reunion. And I look back at those pictures. I'm like, I was fucking ugly. Like, what? What was I thinking that this was the smart move? But it's funny because I look back at those pictures though, and my shitty makeup is still better than half of the queens in town right now.
Love it.
But like my makeup journey was a lot different than most people's because I started wearing makeup as a boy in 2010 or 11. And then I painted at home in drag for 2 years before I even went into public because I was so scared because people like queens are vicious. So I wanted to be able to defend myself and feel confident. These girls that get paint for the first time and then go to the club that night, I'm like, you're the bravest human being I have ever met in my life. Like, I wish I could have the balls that you have. Like, you're bold.
For the 2 years that you were doing that, did you show anyone at all? Or is that truly something you kept to yourself?
I would show pictures of it, but like I like didn't post it on social media or anything. I don't even know if I should find those pictures.
Who was the first person that saw you in full drag?
I went to a Halloween party and we were all post-apocalyptic versions of Wizard of Oz. So I made my own dress. I was Glenda the Good, made my dress, and I went out to straight parties. I went out to straight parties for 2 Halloweens before I even went to a gay bar. And that's when I came out as like crystal balls. But those like 2 years I went Halloween parties, I was Halloween. So it was just that character's name. I was Glenda, you know? It used to take me 6 hours to get ready.
Oh my God.
And I look back and I'm like, what the hell were you doing for 6 hours, babes? Sure as hell weren't blending. That's what you weren't doing.
I love
now
it.
we're done.
It looks amazing.
Thank you.
What wig are you going to be using today?
For the piss number, I have like this yellow, half up, half down, super curly, and then I did all those like strands. It's like tons of strands with rhinestones all over the top. The pleather look, I have a triple stacked orange wig that I think I'm gonna wear with that one. It's huge because that's the same like weave bond glue. That's what I use to keep my wigs on. Those super heavy ones. And thank God I'm bald. That's why I took my toupee off because I have so much drag the next 4 months. So I can just literally put the glue on my scalp and then put the wig on. And then I use like got to be glued hairspray to like seal down the lace on the edges. This wig is huge, the triple stack orange one, and it's so heavy.
Well, whichever one you choose, do me a huge favor, please. Can you send me a final look? That way I can also post it and share it and do all that good stuff with it.
Yep. I'll make sure I get a solo because I think we have a photographer tonight.
Yes. Before we wrap it up, makeup looks good. We can't wait to see the final look. Can you tell everyone where to find you on Instagram, any other socials you may have?
So my Instagram is LELLE.RJHunt. It's the only social media that I have. And if you want to donate, because this will be before this, so my birthday is February 15th, and I'm doing a show, and it's everyone has to wear a beard. It's really cool because I got trans women and stuff in there too, and so they find like the coolest creative ways. But we're raising money for this organization called the Rainbow Railroad. Have you heard of that?
No, but tell everyone about it. I love it.
So the Rainbow Railroad is an organization based out of Canada, and they get people out of countries that you can be murdered for being gay still out in 24 hours on refugee status. So it costs about like $10,000 per person they get out. My goal as a drag queen now is once a year to throw a charity show on my own. So that's the charity I chose for my birthday to raise this year. So if you want to donate, you can donate into my Venmo, which is Richard-Hunter-10. And all the proceeds and everything are going to that organization. So my goal is to raise $5,000. I want to get at least half of it of one person. So
amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah. And when is the event? When are you hosting it?
It is on February 17th at the Balcony Club.
Well, thank you so much for agreeing to doing this with me. I've been looking forward to this episode since before the pod even launched. So I'm excited about it.
I thank you for having me. This is my second podcast. I usually tell everyone no because that first experience was terrible. So, all right.
Well, Elle, it was beautiful talking with you. I love you. I can't wait to see you and talk to you again.
All right. Love you too, babes. Bye.
Bye. Hey, if you've made it this far, don't forget to follow the socials on the screen or in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. See you next week.